This is Living Your Life Well Planned, the 80-20-365 success system from Adam Vincent Gilmer. I'm Gene Velitis, your host, and welcome to episode 33. And as we always like to remind people off the top of these episodes, and again at the end, it's important that you get your daily planner. Now, we're not trying to force you to get the daily planner, but it's going to become your GPS through this course. It's your guide for life. And when you get it at first, you'll start filling it out, your purpose statement, you'll plan out your days, you'll plan out your months. And within a little while, you'll be hanging on to this book just like you hang on to your wallet or to your cell phone. And it's something that you'll be using in the morning, and then you'll be scoring your day before you go to bed. So it's important that you have it. Now, today, oh, and by the way, you order it here on Adam's website, 80-20-365.com. And if you're in a country, because we are global right now, where we can't ship to you, we'll get you a copy that you'll be able to download on your computer. So any way you need it, we'll get it to you. And it's about $1 a day. And as we've said before, if your life isn't worth $1 a day, then my friends, I hate to tell you this, but you're on the wrong podcast. You may want to go listen to somebody telling jokes, because we're serious about this and it works. All right. I've been looking so forward to this episode number 33. It's MSIs, which are multiple sources of income, versus trading time for money. There's 168 hours in a week. Now, according to Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great philosopher, and according to his law of compensation, you receive compensation or you earn money in three different ways. One, the need for what you do. Two, the ability to do it. And three, the difficulty in replacing you and what you do. Now, when we take a look at that, and we think about multiple sources of income. In other words, checks coming into your life from different companies or different entrepreneurial businesses. That's multiple sources of income. So you just don't have one paycheck. And we compare that to trading time for money. Now, let's consider what's happening in the USA today. The top 1% of earners account for 20% of the United States total income annually. Just take a second and think about that. The top 1% of earners in the United States account for 20% of the total amount of money that's earned in the U.S. And in the U.S. today, to be among the 1%, you'll have to earn, on average, $584,000 a year. Now, those who are among that 1%, the average income in the United States is $1.7 million. So, how do you get to be in the 1%? Well, you know what? If you think out of the box, you need somebody who's already out of the box to read the instructions on the outside of the box to tell you how to get out of it. And Adam Vincent Gilmer is that guy. He's in the 1% because he's discovered the secret that when you're trading time for money, the big inherent problem is you simply run out of hours. And if you want to make more money trading time for money, you're going to take on another job and you'll be trading more time for more money. And you know what? That takes you away from your family, takes you away from your hobbies. It takes you away from everything you like to do in life. Now, if you have multiple sources of income, say one company goes bankrupt, well, guess what? You're not going to get kicked out of your house. You have other sources of income coming in. And if you're in the top 1%, every single month you're thinking of new multiple sources of income to bring into your life. So with that introduction, let's get to Adam right now. And let's talk about this. You know, when we were in high school, when we were in college, they said, you know, get a good job and, you know, work hard for your entire life and you'll get a gold watch and you'll retire. And we certainly know that's not correct now. The way to go is multiple sources of income. So Adam, let's just get some definitions. Let's talk about this a little bit. Multiple sources of income versus trading time for money.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, you know, wherever you are, or good night, maybe, if some of you are around the world somewhere. I love this article that you just mentioned, Gina. And the reason I love it is I was always wondering what it would take to cross over from the 99%. And I realized, and several of my mentors helped me understand that 1 out of 9 companies end up going, bankrupt. Okay, I should say the other way around. 8 out of 9 companies end up going bankrupt. So if you're going to be a successful person and start a company, start a business, or be in business, you have to understand something. You're going to go through some failure. Okay. That's like, so like failure is like the prerequisite for you to actually cross over to the 1%. So what that means is if you want to have multiple sources of income and, you know, 1 out of 9 businesses are going to basically stay in business, you have to go and start 6 or 7 companies, 6 or 7 times 9. Okay. That tells you how many times you want to keep at it because of the failure. And, you know, I've had my own failures, colossal. Okay. But the beautiful thing is I didn't let that stop me and I kept going. So I crossed over into the 1%. And the beautiful thing about being in the 1% is I can, if something does happen to one of my companies, like you said, it doesn't really affect me. I've got other sources of income that are continuing to make lifestyle happen, to, you know, keep the kids in school and food on the table and what have you. And especially during this crazy coronavirus. And the reason why I like the article that Gene was just talking about, or the reference points he was talking about, being in the you know, the 1% and 20% of the U.S. What those 1%ers do, how they equate to having 20% of the income, is you have to understand. I'm telling you, they don't work for somebody. They probably work for themselves, have a gig, have a side hustle, have something going on, and they don't stop. And that's, Gene, that's the whole thing. And the other thing is they have a plan, right? Like, you know, not every plan works out perfectly. I was just watching Formula One, and I found out that Lewis Hamilton, who's races for Mercedes-Benz, #1 driver in the world, put out a great post on Instagram, and he apologized to all of his fans. He's in the top 1%, right? Okay. He apologized to all of his fans because he got coronavirus. And rather than put a whole bunch of people at jeopardy, he's like, oh, by the way, he was in 3rd place for on pole position. He was first, second, third, ready to get out there and do stuff. And all of a sudden he tested positive. And he did the right thing, though. He stepped back. And this was about leadership. There's always a plan. There was a plan in place for him to go out and race, actually, like today, because that's what happens in most Formula One races. And he stepped back. And he stepped back not because he wanted to. He stepped back out of being respectful to his teammates and what have you. 1% takes leadership, but his plan changed. And what I'm trying to tell everybody here is your plans are going to have to change. It. You have to have a plan. You know, I opened up my planner today. You know, here we are. I have a plan, and I follow the plan all day. And when you follow the plan and you get into what those 1%ers are doing, chances are you're going to cross over from the 99 to the 1% income earners and start earning, you know, 500 to, you know, $1.7 million a year, even better. And that's the beautiful thing about understanding you got to have multiple streams of income, more than one company running, and listen, it's not easy, Gene. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Exactly. But that's the beautiful thing. It's worthwhile.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know, one thing you said, and I don't want it to go unnoticed, and it's very telling. You said, you know, you have to have some failures. Yeah. And by having a failure, you understand contrast. And when you have a failure, you understand success, and you appreciate that success more because you've got something to compare it to. So it's really not all that bad. Let's just deal a little bit of trading time for money, because okay. I just want to get people really squared off on this, that it's a really bad strategy to make money. You know, we do seminars and, you know, we kind of fool around with people, and we put up our hands and we say, everybody in the room here, if you just work a little harder, you think you can make more money. And of course, because we're putting up our hands, everybody puts up our hands, and we say, no, it doesn't have to do about working hard. I mean, you can be a really nice guy and work hard, but you might get fired because your company goes under and you don't have any money coming in. Let's talk just briefly about why trading time for money is not a good strategy.
All right. So the governments of the world love teaching people how to trade time for money. And in fact, even all the universities, and I'm not knocking any university. I think basic education is important for everybody. But education is great to maybe teach somebody to be a doctor, maybe a lawyer, a great employee, but there's no teaching about how money works. And the biggest challenge is most people grow up and they go, okay, let me go get a job. Maybe they're working at, a paper route when that used to be in fashion, or go down to a local restaurant. And of course, that's not happening anymore because everything's shut down.
Yeah.
Okay. But the point is that you would normally, go in and say, listen, here's how much you're going to get paid every single hour. And there was a gentleman, Jay Paul Getty, who said, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. And what he was talking about was leverage. And getting a job is a great way to start and a great way to, pay the rent. But it's not going to be a good way to have money for a stock portfolio, own different homes, own several businesses, and actually hire people and allow people to maximize their hours. Okay, like you said, there's 168 hours in a week, but allow that person to maximize their hours, and they're making money for them, their family, or what have you, to pay their bills. And if you're in a business like the businesses that I'm in, okay, direct sales, I love sales. It's so much fun. Sorry, that's my other messaging going off. But if you're in a business where you can leverage other people's time and earn money at the same time, you figured it out. And that's what our course is about. Our course is not just about you continuously trading hours for money. I mean, what's the average earning in the United States when it comes down to hourly? 8 something. If you want to see it go up to 12 or 15, and there's all this political stuff about, hey, let's raise the minimum wage. And think about that. Think about that. Raise the minimum wage. I mean, like, why don't we say, listen, let's go make the maximum we can? And the maximum we can is you're going to have to understand, for the listener listening in today, it's not about the hour. It's about how many people in that hour that maybe is your business partner are all marketing something, and you made an override on everything that they do. And that's the businesses that I'm in, Gene. And so the difference is, when you trade time for money, you end up broke. When you figure out how to leverage time, have other people pay their bills, and how drive an income, and you make a little piece of that every hour, and you don't have to do the work, you now have, I don't want to say mastered, but you've now got one of the major concepts down that isn't necessarily taught at school. And that is understanding how money works.
Okay, I want to drill down a little deeper into this, because for some people listening, this may be your first exposure to this. Now, Adam and I have been in the industry called direct sales or multi-level marketing. And if some red flag just went off when I said that, what I'm going to tell you is you don't know what you're talking about. And you should get a hold of Adam and me, and you tell us what you think multi-level marketing is. And believe me, I can guarantee you this, you've got it wrong. So when we talk about trading time for money, we've alluded to it here a couple of times. It's 168 hours a week. The inherent problem is you simply run out of hours. So let's talk about multiple sources of income. Adam is the top leader in a global company that will probably do this year, something between $1 and $2 billion. And Adam has an international business in countries all over the world. Now, let's just talk about you getting involved in an MSI like Adam's company that he's not an employee of. I mean, he's an independent business guy who's got an organization. Now, let's say you get involved in Adam's business, and let's say you ask people to join your business. And let's just say in the first month, you're lucky enough to have 20 people join your business. Let's just say those 20 people in the next month each work just 2 hours a week on this new business. Well, guess what? You've just added 40 hours of people working for you in a 168-hour work week. Now, you can't shove 40 hours onto the end of that 168 because it becomes another week. So just imagine people working 2 or 3 hours in your organization as you continue to build it. Just imagine how many man hours that will be in a week. So just out of curiosity, and I know you don't totally reveal all the secrets, Adam, but globally, approximately how many people do you have in your organization?
Almost 200,000.
Okay, so almost 200,000. So let's just say everybody in Adam's organization works 1 hour a week. Now, because Adam is a motivator, believe me, they work way more than that. But let's just say we'll play that great game, pretend that we
Okay.
were really good at when we were kids. Let's just say everybody in Adam's organization works 1 hour a week. Well, that's 200,000 man hours a week. Now, how could you possibly put, if you were going to do it, 200,000 man hours in a week that only has 168 hours? Am I making this clear? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what happens. And not only that, but you have people who work under those people and under those people. So Adam probably has, if you think about it, he's he's probably packing in about 1 million man hours into every single week, and he couldn't do that by himself.
No way. Right.
So this is a concept that works. And you know, again, it's not easy. If it was
Yeah.
easy, everybody'd be doing it, and we'd all be rich. But it takes a plan. It's why you need the daily planner. Why you got to write this stuff down. Why you have to have goals. So talk to me about how you built a multiple source income business with this company that's global, and you've got like 200,000 people in your organization.
Well, Gene, I started out like everybody else does, which is I became a distributor. I got into the business, and then I started to introduce other people to a concept and an idea. And my favorite sales technique was this. I said, look, come and take a look at what I'm doing. I said, when you come and take a look, I want you to bring a red building brick with you. And of course, everybody's like, well, what the hell am I building? Why am I bringing a building brick? And I said, because if what I say to you, one, isn't truthful, doesn't make sense, you're to go ahead and I give you permission to smash me in the face with a brick. And the reason I do that, NLP programming, is to make sure that people understand I'm deadly serious, number one. Nobody's smashed me in the face. I know it looks like somebody smashed me in the face with a brick, but nobody's ever said, oh my God, this won't work, what have you. It works. Now like the planner, it takes time. It's not something you jump in this week and in 6-7 days you got a sales organization built. No, it's going to take time. And that's the blessing. The blessing is that all of us have this thing called time. It's a limited resource when you count out from start when you're born to your ending and expiration date. But in between that, this thing called time, we've all got to learn to maximize it. And that's why we do a time management program, so that 20% of what you're going to do, and here's what I did. I started out talking to people that got the concept. Now, the other 80% who didn't get I didn't go after those people because they were largely a waste of my time trying to convince them to be part of something. I found similar, like-minded individuals who wanted to who had goals, dreams, wanted to make something happen. I said, come take a look at the plan. Now, when I got into the company was only doing, I think it was 60 million a year. Okay. And now it's, a couple $1 billion a year. But to be fair, okay, I've traveled extensively globally. I've gone to every single continent except for Antarctica. Okay. And I've been tired. I've jumped off of planes, gone to meetings. I've fallen asleep on dinner meetings because I'm so tired and jet lagged. But at meeting people, telling about the concept. And guess what happens? After some time goes by, you hit pay dirt. And pay dirt, if you understand mining for gold or copper or what have you, that pay dirt is what turns in, there's a gold vein there. And you find a leader, you find somebody who I'm talking to right now, this listener listening, and that person is like, okay, I got it. What do I do? Get involved, get a planner, get serious, start organizing your time. And you said it great, Gene, it's not easy, but listen, it's not that it's not easy. It's anybody can do this. You just got to do the same things I've done, right? And then you end up being in an amazing position. Now, the person that got me involved, you think, I'm doing fantastic. The person who got me involved, okay, I'm going to tell you, makes 4 times, okay, that's 400%, okay, more money than what I do. he did the same thing. And by the way, if you show me your friends, I can show you your future. And that's the other thing. One of the other tabs in this planning system is the people tab. Okay, being brain body time people. You've got to get around people that are serious, gonna have a plan, you know, want to create a net worth, want to be in a system to make things happen. I mean, there's a couple of movies that'll just come to my mind. You know, the movie about McDonald's, Ray Kroc,
Right.
and you know, they were trading burgers for time, and then along comes this consultant that bumps into Ray Kroc and goes, you know what? You're not in the burger business. You're in the real estate business. Boom. What an idea. Completely changed the outlook of that company. And that's what we're trying to do for you, the listener right now, is like, look, you know, get a planner, get serious, and start building. And I don't care what business you're in. You know, if it's our business, fantastic. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you're maximizing your time, and you stop trading time for money every single hour. You start to learn how to maximize that, and that's what I've done. So, like you said, and I think I did the math on those numbers. What is it? I do 1,000, like a 1,000 days, okay, of work, okay. But I don't do that. But if you take the leverage of the time of the people in the sales organization, I mean, 1,000 days of work, you know, is in a month is like serious. Well, there's no way you could make that math work unless you were leveraging other people in relationships.
Yeah. So for every year that you are earning from multiple sources of income, for every year that you live with your wife and your two children, people working for you in that 1 year are really putting in 3 to 4 years work, which would never fit because it's mathematically impossible unless you do it this way. Now, let's talk about a couple of the benefits. You know, you kept mentioning an important word: time management, time management, time management. Well, the fact of the matter is we all have the same amount of time. It's just how you use it. And with multiple sources of income, here's what's really interesting. And I know this for a fact. Adam drives his son to school in the morning, and Adam picks up his son at the end of the day, and they go home together. And Adam does not go into the office on Saturday to clean up his desk to appease his boss. So his time management means he has more time for his family. Now, if you're trading time for money and you have to get more money coming in and you work more hours, well, you're not going to be with your family. The other great thing that I love about multiple sources of income, and I want you to talk about this specifically because you have an international business. When you go to bed at night and you're snoring and your wife is saying, Adam, stop snoring, you're actually making money. So when you wake up in the morning and you go to your company's website, generally what do you see? Now, I mean, don't give us the amount because that's none of our business. But when you get up in the morning compared to when you went to bed the night before, and you take a look at what businesses happen when you're sleeping, give us a ballpark figure of kind of like what you see on an average day, if you don't mind.
Sure. So, you know, I'm going to put it this way, like, let's just take $1 million a year. Okay. And you break it down to, you know, you divide $1 million by 365, and that'll tell you how much money you need to make every single day to make $1 million. That number is just over $2,000. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, when I log in, it's 3 or 4 times that a day. Now,
Well, you're sleeping.
Well, to be very fair, Gene, normally, you know, I travel a lot, right? I'm concierge on American and what have you, like, you know, all these different levels and lots of miles. And this year I've traveled up and down the stairs, from my bedroom to my desk, and done a ton of Zoom meetings. And that's been really the work, but it's still connecting. I'm bringing like-minded people together. The difference is that I've become more accessible. And in fact, one of the main reasons, almost a year ago, we started this to say, because, you know, the crazy Corona period had come in, and we'd started before coronavirus had come, and then all of a sudden coronavirus hits, like, oh, you know, massive readjustment. But you know what the beautiful thing was? And I love this about intelligent people. When the world causes change, intelligent, like-minded people find alternative ways of driving income. multiple streams. And listen, I don't mind if it's, cryptocurrency, real estate, direct sales, starting an Amazon. I don't care. Okay. What I care about is you absolutely have to take action, because how did Jeff Bezos become the richest guy in the world? I mean, Amazon is a household name today. Okay. But like, I want you to understand, let's go back, 15 years, and take a look. I mean, the guy was selling books. Okay. And it became
Out of a garage.
it became and there was a concept of having, an online mall. I don't know if everybody remembers this or not, but that was like the whole thinking. You go in and there's multiple stores and this online thing, and it's like, it's virtual. And look at the leverage, okay, that Jeff Bezos has created. Forget about me, I'm a flea on that elephant's butt, okay, when it comes down to income. We do very, very good. But at the end of the day, I'm not written up in Forbes. I'd like to be, plan on being, but here's the difference. He's learned to leverage other people's energies and efforts, and it's driven him to be the richest gentleman in the world. Now, I was also reading that his net worth jumped because the stock value in the company jumped. And my question to everybody here is listening is like, how are we going to get your personal stock value to jump? Okay. At least you can contact us here at 802365, get serious about living your life well planned, put a plan in place, and start on the journey. In fact, it says here, join us on the journey to success. It's on the book. It's on the planner, and it's a starting point for you to start leveraging time, money, networking with the right people, pushing the negative naysayers away and out of your life, and starting to circle with people that are on the same mission that you're on. Now, what do I mean by that? When lions go hunting, I'm South African. When lions go hunting in Africa, they go out in a nice, pack, and they're surrounded by the lionesses and the other lions, and they're in hunt mode. Okay. And here's what they know, and in Africa, when the sun goes up in the morning, it doesn't matter if you're a lion or a gazelle. You better be hitting the ground running. First of all, the lions look at to say, let me go catch the gazelle. And the gazelle's going, I want to be eaten by a lion. And that's the beauty of understanding how all this stuff comes together and work. You've got to surround yourself with people that are going to go and kill it. Okay. And that's what we're doing. That's how we're educating people, so they start to understand. My organization didn't just build overnight. It took plenty of time. But you know what? You all have this thing called time, which you're learning now how to manage. And the other thing is, we had a successful system, a successful plan, so people could plug in. And that's the other thing. All of us have electricity. You're watching this so something's working. It's either over your phone or, Spotify or Apple iTunes or on our YouTube channel or on Instagram, whatever it is. There's energy that's running it. And you've got to learn how to plug in. And the plugging in isn't just the energy that's running it. The plugging in is your mental thoughts need to plug into a system where you too can do it. And you can. In fact, Gene, I was just at our good friend's house. You know him too, this week, and we're sitting down at the table. We're smoking a couple cigars, and I meet a gentleman from a company, and he's been in that company for 30 years. Okay, he's got a residual income, and we're sitting down and we're talking. And Jason's like, "Well, and he's looking to do some training for his group." And he goes, "Well, I want to try and reinvigorate people, what have you." And Jason's like, "Well, you should plug into what Adam's doing." And by the way, his entire staff in Woodland Hills on the system, okay?
Beautiful.
Which was, and he asked me, he said, "Listen, do me a favor, bring up planners for everybody." I said, "Yes," and I did. And sitting down with this particular gentleman, we got into how he's looking to reinvigorate a sales organization. And I said, "Well, what's their plan?" He goes, "Well, we don't really have a plan." I was like, "Great. So what you've done is, you struck enough rocks where you hit some pay dirt, and it's given you an amazing 30-year residual income, okay, or ongoing passive income." And he goes, yeah. He says, but you know what? There's nobody in my team who's as lucky as me. And I said, well,
Oh,
that's the beautiful thing.
oh.
We create our own luck. And by doing so, you know, if you're hanging out with a whole bunch of successful people, chances are we're going to rub off on what you're doing, and vice versa. That's how I got successful.
Yeah.
I was watchful about who I was hanging around. I hung around people on the same mission. There's teams that are planned, organized, moving forward. It's true from the downloads that we're getting from the different places around the world. You know, every channel we have, it's touching somebody.
Yep.
And that's the trick. The trick is, it's one of my daily affirmations. I attract to my reality like-minded people who will partner with me to help change the world, and together we'll earn multiple sources of income, 6, 7, and 9-figure incomes. And this is one of my daily affirmations. It's written down in my book. And the beautiful thing about that is that's what we're looking for. So if somebody doesn't qualify within that, great, you know, wish you the best. But if you do qualify inside that piece, we can make some amazing things happen together.
Yeah. And, you know, and you said it all in that one sentence. And we've talked about it here before. You know, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a goal, you'll also reach that. Of course, it'll be nothing, but you'll reach that goal of not having a plan. So listen, Adam, before we get into episode 34 coming up here, and episode 34 just, I mean, it takes what we're talking about now, and we're going to even break it down a little more. Episode 34 is your worth in the marketplace is based on your ability to add more value than anybody else. So that's coming up. But just to wrap up our episode on MSIs versus trading time for money, if after this episode somebody wants to get a brick and and meet up with you, how do they contact you about that business?
Listen, first of all, my phone number is out there for everybody. I have various email addresses. We have an amazing team that's doing this work here behind Gene and myself. We have stores up and running. We are available. The biggest challenge is the challenge goes out to the listener right now is I implore you, reach out and say, hey, listen to the episode. I want to get started. I want to do something. And we're here for you. It's so simple. Anybody can reach us online.
All right. And anybody can do it. We've seen it around the world. Okay, Adam, this was a really good episode. I really like this one a lot. We're going to move on to episode 34, but again, let me remind you because it's important. And if you've really listened to this episode closely, you really know why you need the daily planner. And like I said, it's about $1 a day. We can send it to anywhere, any person around the world, even you listening in Ghana, in Africa, and Ghana downloads these podcasts, and we love that. Go to the website and order your daily planner. In the meantime, for Adam Vincent Gilmer, the 80/20/365 Success System, I'm Gene Velitis. Coming up, episode 34, which just piggybacks on this one. It's going to be so good. We'll see you then. Thanks, Adam.
Ciao.